No, I want to get your take on this quote. So the quote is from Vince Lombardi, and he says, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence.
Ooh. Will you say it one more time?
Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence."
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
There's like a little internal tennis match in my head because I'm like, yeah, I can vibe with that, but then I'm like, I changed some wording. I would change some wording on there. Um, I'd love to hear. Can I hear your thoughts before while I'm marinating?
I like it. I like it. Especially because Vince Lombardi was an NFL football coach, and
Mm.
so in the sense of a sports dynamic, I think it's really it works because
Mhm.
everyone knows that you can't be perfect in sports, but if we can get as close as humanly possible, we're going to be right there. Um, and I love how it doesn't talk about outcomes, which are not under your control.
Yeah.
I like the word excellence. I think that's a good thing to strive for and to
Yeah.
be. Um, now, yeah, but I don't know as much about perfectionism as you do, so I don't know if it's actually can be productive. But just thinking about it under a sports lens, I do
Mhm.
like it.
I like it when I think of the word excellence because I'm right there in agreement with you. I love the word excellence. But the difference between perfection and excellence is excellence around allows for room for error. It
Mm.
allows for room for um, you know, to miss a day, to have some effing grace with yourself. Now, does that mean all the time? No, you wouldn't be excellent if you were missing every single day. Of course not. But it allows for room for remembering that you're a human being, not a robot. And I think when we think about perfectionism a lot of the time in this element of always striving to be better, always striving for that absolute perfect run or absolute perfect play, there's this robotic element to it. Now, in addition to being a musical theater performer, I've also played piano since I was 8. So I know that there are times when I've played a piece and it has been just like chef's kiss perfect. I didn't miss a single note. Everything was on time. It was awesome. But I could never have gotten there without immense, immense amount of imperfect plays and struggling through it and slowing it down and trying it again and resting my hands and then coming back to the piano or trying. So I think that the thing when it comes to perfectionism that I always like to put a little asterisk next to is people think that they're just going to plop down and be perfect. And that never happens. We have to have that blood, sweat, and tears. We have to put in that hard work. We have to put in that, hustle and rest and recovery. But when I hear people say, I'm always striving for perfection, that to me tells them they don't give themselves days off. They don't give themselves any grace when it comes to it. And that's where I like throw down the red flag. I'm like, okay, the hard work, the hustle, the I want to be the best version of myself I can be is awesome. And when I talk to high achievers at first, a lot of them are like, you're gonna tell me to lower my standards, aren't you? And I'm like, no, because I'm not an idiot. Like, of course I'm not going to, because I know you won't, nor do I want you to. Your standards are the reason you are where you are today. What I want to just, insert is what having your standards and not hating yourself to get to them. Instead, it's having your standards and loving yourself at your core. And I say that and they kind of like, ugh, roll your eyes, God, you're going to talk to me about loving myself. I know you're definitely a person who hears like the stigma around you are loved a lot.
Mhm.
But it's true. That's how we can strive for excellence. That's how we can be a perfectionist and be a hell of a good one. But you have to include that element of knowing that where you are right now is still enough, even though it might not be where you want to be. But you're going to get there. But hating yourself to get there is not going to work. So that's my very long winded answer. I agree and disagree. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because like all of the not funny, I guess it's the wrong word, but interesting. We'll
Yeah.
say that most of the people that I talk to or meet who are very, very high performers are not um, running towards something that they really love. They're running away from something that they're scared of. Like most high performers are that way because of insufficiency, lack, and insecurity.
So,
And it's like, it's true. It gets them to a point. Like it gets you to a point. Like I, um, whatever the insufficiency is or lack is or whatever the neuroticism is, like it gets you to a certain point, but you reach a ceiling. And
mhm.
also you can't sprint like that for your whole life. Now there's durations of your life where you got a big thing coming up. You got to sprint for 4 months.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's a push
Great.
period.
We'll get it. But like for my whole life, no, that's not how it works. There's no durability in that. It's hard to be as consistent as you possibly can. And so you have to meet with someone or figure it out on your own, whatever the case may be, is like, what are these things that you're running away from? How can you flip that narrative and to be more purposeful with that? And instead of coming from a sense of lack, but coming from a sense of abundance, but not changing your internal drive, you're still as driven. You're just being driven from a different, more productive, more healthy place.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation I see happening now, which is awesome.
Yes.
Thank God, because